Next function is count. This function counts the number of cells that contain numbers and numbers within the list of arguments. Means if we pass certain numbers as the arguments, it would count the number of the arguments which are passed. The syntax of this function is count value 1, value 2 up to 30th value. The type of the arguments is of any type, and it would return type as number because it would count the values and it would return their count. Arguments that are numbers, dates, boolean values are counted because when we are calculating, the dates are converted to the numbers only. So all the numbers, dates and boolean values are counted because while calculation, boolean values are also converted to numbers, true to 1 and false to 0. So all these things, that is numbers, dates and boolean values, can be converted to some number. So these are counted in the function count. If there are certain text entries, they are ignored. Let's see some examples. Count 4, 5, 6, it returns the value 3 because there are 3 numbers 4, 5 and 6. Count A1 and B1 returns 2 where A1 has value 12 and B1 has 8 because there are 2 values, so it would return the value 2. Count 4, 5, 6 and true, it returns 4 because here 4 values are there. 4, 5, 6 and true would be converted to 1. So total 4 values are here. Count A1 to A4, the range A1 to A4 returns 3 where A1 is 12, A2 is 25th June 2020, A3 is test, A4 is 2. Here this date is converted to numeric value and the value in A3, that is test, is a text which would be ignored. So total 3 values are there in the cell A1, A2 and A4. So this function returns the value 3. Next is count A. It is count all. A here represents all. So it refers to CountAll function that simply counts number of entries irrespective of whether it is number, date, boolean value or text. Means this function counts the number of values in the list of arguments irrespective of its type. Its syntax is count A, value 1, value 2 up to value 30. The argument type may be of any type, but return type is number because a number is returned as the count. In this function, text entries are also counted, but if there is a cell which is not having any value, means empty cell, then these are ignored. Some examples are count A 4, 5, 6. It would return 3 only. Count A, A1, B1. It would also return 2 where A1 has value 12 and B1 has value 8. Count 4, data 6, true. It returns 4 because data, which is a text, is also considered in count A. So first value is 4, second is data, third is 6, fourth is true, which would be converted to numeric 1. So the value of count A, 4 data 6 true is 4. Count A, range A1 to A4 returns 4 where A1 is 12, A2 is 25th June 2020, A3 is test, A4 is 2. So all the 4 values would be considered for counting and the count value is 4. The next function is max. This function returns the largest value in a set of values. So, if we pass a set of values as the arguments, the function would find the maximum or the largest value of this collection, and it would be returned by this function. So, its argument type is all numbers, means we can pass all the numbers as the arguments, and its return type is also number. Arguments can be numbers, empty cells, logical values, or text. It considers only numeric and logical values to compute maximum. So, these logical values and numbers would be considered for calculating maximum, while empty cells and text are ignored. If the argument contains no number, means we simply call the function max and we doesn't pass any argument, then this function returns the value 0. Some example of this function are max 40, 50, 60. It would return the value 60, which is maximum of 40, 50 and 60. Max A1, B1 would return 12, where A1 has value 12 and B1 has value 8. Max range A1 to A4. It would return the value 25, where value of A1 is 12, A2 is 25, A3 is 0, A4 is 2. The maximum value of this is A2 25. There is another function called as MaxA. This function returns the maximum of a list of arguments including text and logical entries. Means here text values are also considered for calculating the max. The syntax is MaxA, number 1, number 2 and so on. The argument may be of any type, but return value is always a number. Here text is evaluated as 0, means if we pass a text value as the argument, it would be taken as 0. Logical values are evaluated as 1 for true. Some examples of MaxA function are MaxA 40, 50, 60. It would return the value 60, which is maximum of these three values. MaxA A1 colon B1. It returns 12, where value of A1 has 12 and B1 is 8. Out of these two, 12 is larger. MaxA A1 colon A4 means the range from A1 to A4. It returns 12, where A1 is 12, A2 is test, A3 is 0 and A4 is 2. We had seen that string values are treated as 0. So, here A1 would have value 12, A2 would have 0, A3 0, A4 2. MaxA range C1 to C4. It would return the value 0, where C1 has the value -2, C2 has value -5, C3 has the value apple and C4 has the value -8. Out of these value, when this apple is converted to numerical value, that is 0. So, this 0 is greater than other negative numbers. MaxA 0 and true. We know that Boolean values mean that true is treated as 1 and false is treated as 0. So, this true would be converted to 1. So, the function MaxA 0 true would return the value 1. Next function is min. This function returns the smallest value in the set of values. The syntax for this function is min number 1, number 2 up to number 30. Argument type is all numbers and it would return the value number only. The arguments can be numbers, empty cells, logical values or text. but it considers only numeric and logical values for the computation. If the arguments contain no numbers, min returns 0. Some examples are min 40, 50, 60. It would return the value 40. Min A1 colon B1. It returns the value 8, where A1 has value 12 and B1 has value 8. 8 is smaller, so min A1 comma semicolon B1 would return 8. Min A1 range B A4. It would return the value 0, where A1 is 12, A2 is 25, A3 is 0, A4 is 2. Out of these, minimum value is 0, so this function would return the value 0. Next function is MinA. It is similar to MaxA, except it computes the minimum value in place of maximum value. This function returns the minimum of a list of arguments, including text and logical entries. Its syntax is MinA, number 1, number 2 up to number 30. The argument type is any type and return type is number only. Here also, as in MaxA, text is evaluated as 0 and logical values are evaluated as 1 for true and 0 for false. Some examples are MinA, A1 and B1 would return the value 8, where A1 has the value 12 and B1 has the value 8. MinA, range A1 to A4. It would return the value 0, where A1 has value 12, A2 has value test, which would be converted to 0. A3 has value 10 and A4 has value 2. So minimum of these is 0. Next is MinA C1 colon C4. For the range from C1 to C4, where C1 is -2, C2 is -5, C3 is apple, which would be converted to 0, and C4 is -8. Out of these, -8 is the minimum, so it would return the value -8. MinA0 true. It would return the value 0 because logical value true would be treated as 1. So out of 0 and 1, 0 is the smallest.